Hello, welcome back. Welcome to my kitchen. Come in, sit down, and let me cook for you. I'm Tom, the Sunday Dinner Chef. Let's get started. Welcome back to another edition of the Sunday Dinner Chef. I'm Tom. Today we're going to be doing some Seafood Sunday. Now, seafood's one of my favorites, and what we're going to do is we're going to be making shrimp, scallops, and mussels, but it's going to be put over a homemade pasta. First, I want to get into the pasta and explain to you what I'm doing and the different types of flour there is for making homemade pasta. Let's get into it. Now, as you see here, this is imported from Italy. Now, this is a good flour right here. This is good semolina, but it's semola. What semola means is it's been milled twice. It's almost like a 00 flour, but it has that semolina taste to it. Semolina can be a little bit more grittier. Semolina can remind you basically like a cornmeal. All right. The difference between the two pastas, 00 flour and semola, which is double milled, the semolina is a little bit more rugged. You can dry this for a little bit longer time, and it holds up really well to a real thick sauce. It doesn't break down, whereas 00 does. I like them both. If I'm going to have like a nice sauce, light sauce with it, I'll use 00 flour. But basically, this one works out really well. And what I'm going to do is, this is going into my food processor. Plastic blade, no metal. And I'm going to bring it I'm going to add water a little bit. So I have a cup of flour and also a half a cup of water with salt in it. Probably a quarter teaspoon of salt. I'm going to mix that together. The water is warm. This way it helps hydrate the semolina a little bit more. Now I'm going to put this through until it comes up into a nice ball, and then we're going to roll this out. Okay, at this part right here, you want to add the water, and that's a half a cup of water with some salt in it. Like I said, a quarter teaspoon of salt. Now, you just want to add a little bit in there. You want to make sure that the flour gets well hydrated. You want it hydrated throughout. You don't need dry spots. So what you do is add a little bit of water at a time. You'll watch it beat up a little bit. You'll start seeing it come together. Once it starts to get into larger clumps, add a little bit more water to it until the whole thing comes together. Now, this is different than doing it the other way with the eggs and stuff like this. This is fast. This is pretty quick how it comes together. The whole idea is kneading it. You got to take your time when you knead this. And we'll get into that in 1 minute. All right, as you see, it has a little bit of a sticky texture to it. All right, and what we're going to do now is going to throw some more semolina down onto the board. And then we're just going to keep this kneading until it all comes together. This is the process that you got to do. And what it does is, the pasta comes out really tasty. Just put it on there, knead it a little bit, let it sit, knead it again until you feel it's not sticking to you, and it comes together nice. Now I'm going to show you on the other side, because what it'll do is, you put it into a ball, flip it upside down and watch, and you see that open back up again. Well, guess what? Now you got to knead a little bit more until the gluten's in here relax. That's the process. Just like making a pizza dough or bread dough, this is the same thing. You want them glutens to relax. So now you can maneuver it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to keep turning it, using my palm, bring it together with my fingers, roll it out with my palm, and until it comes together. I'll put it into a bowl, and then we will take it into a little bit of I'll put it into a pan. Normally I put them in saran wrap, tighten them up, put them in the refrigerator. This one I'm going to let sit out for a little bit because there's no egg in it. So I'm going to let it sit and get to room temperature, and then forward it a little bit more, and then it's going to rest overnight. I like the pasta doughs to rest overnight. Really relaxes everything, makes it much easier the next day for me to roll it out and make it into different whatever shapes I want. More than likely I'm going to go with probably like a fettuccine type of pasta. I have no special way of doing it, but I'm just going to roll it out, cut it, and there you go. All right, after running this around a little bit here, you look at it, it's starting to stay in place, but you see that gap right there. Okay, in there is very still wet. So you want to keep kneading it out a little bit more, turn the inside out, roll it, keep going with it until that does not move. It does not pull back together again. Now, in this pan, I'm going to put a little olive oil in it, just a little bit, and I'm going to rub this semolina through the olive oil, and I'll cover that with a little bit of saran wrap. And this is going to sit out at room temperature for a while, and then later on, I will put it in a refrigerator, and we will start this dinner in the morning. All right, it's 24 hours later. Now, this feels really good. It's really loose. All the gluten's relaxed. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on a stainless steel table here, and I am going to start rolling it out, adding some flour to it. The whole idea is to let it sit and rest and basically start to dry out. You want all of the flour to be hydrated. Now, if you start rolling it and you get a little snag on your rolling pin, you got to flour it up. That means it's still kind of wet on the inside. This dough right here, working pretty good. Okay, squared it up. Now I'm going to cut it. No rhyme or reason to it. You can use the straight edge if you want. I like to do it by eye. Makes it go much faster. Besides, I have no patience. And doing it this way, if you can use a pizza cutter, works out better. The knife sometimes snags it. And cutting up against stainless steel, that can also dull your knife, which I'm going to have to sharpen this knife again anyway. So, cutting it into... like about the size of fettuccine is fine. Okay, well now we're going to put it onto any kind of rack that you have, anything that would keep it so air can get at it is fine. And we're going to keep continuing to cut this. There you go. Much easier with the pizza cutter. You can cut any length you want, really. Yeah, this came out pretty good. Now, there are gadgets out there that you can use. I particularly don't care for them. In fact, I'm going to show you one in a minute here that, you know what? Don't waste your money. Use a knife. Cut it that way. Make it your own size. If you like really thin pasta, have patience and cut it a little bit thinner. What I'm doing now is rolling out the second part, the residuals, the leftovers from the cut, to square up the pasta sheet, so I can cut it. I'm going to re-roll that out. I'm going to make some more pasta out of that one. I don't throw nothing away. It's all good. It all works. Now this thing right here, I think I paid $10 or $12 for it. Whatever. It does not work. I tried many different ways with it. It just doesn't cut through. You can't hold down tight enough on it. So there again, it's a novelty. Looks good where you display your spatulas and stuff. Other than that, it's not worth it at all. Now, do you have to buy a pasta rack? Absolutely not. You can use pots, deep enough pots, to put it on there just to get the air to it, to dry it up before you put it into the boiling water. Okay, heating up the pan, going to put some olive oil in it, going to add some butter, and then we're going to put the scallops in. Now, in order to get a crust on top of the scallops, you have to have them really, really dry. Okay. You also, you want to make sure that the pan is not too hot because you don't want to burn the oil and or the butter. You're putting them in there. They will stick to the pan. You'll never get them out. So what we're going to do here is we're just going to put a light brown on top of it because they're going to actually sit in with some sauce. So making them crispy and then putting them in sauce doesn't make sense. So what we're going to do though is we're going to saute these on either side, take them out. And then what we'll do is I'm going to adjust the heat as I go. And the sizzle is unbelievable. But you got to make sure that they're dry. Now these were frozen. So what I had to do is I had to throw them out the night before and kept in paper towels, kept changing the towels and making sure that as the water came out of them, I could dry them up. Now, were they perfectly dry? Absolutely not, because again, I have no patience. But the whole idea is it's two different recipes that you can work with here. You can either just use a brown butter sauce, crisp them up on the outside, and serve them that way. But we're going to combine them with some mussels, shrimp into a nice red sauce with homemade pasta. Now, here's the thing with scallops. Do not want to overcook them because they will be rubbery and have no taste. So what I'm doing here is I got very high heat. I am putting the butter and the olive oil on top of it. Let it sit for a couple minutes and they're done. Taking them off, take them out of the pan. And then what we'll do is we're going to start adding in the shrimp. As you can see, nice little golden brown to them. You don't want to go any further than that for this recipe. And now I'm going in that pan. I am going to be putting in the shrimp. I have 8 shrimp. That'll be 4 apiece for me and Marie. And we're going to cook them up on either side, take them out, just to get the color on either side of them. Still going to be raw in the middle, but then I'm going to put them back into the sauce with the mussels and tighten them up a little bit more from there. Again, don't want to overcook the shrimp. Don't want to overcook your scallops. That's a big no-no. Okay, I did turn up the heat on the shrimp a little bit because I want them to sear on either side. And then what I'm going to do is, like you see me right there turning them, and then what's going to happen is I'm going to take them out, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of water to this pan. And what I want to do is I want to get that fond off the bottom. I'm going to get the residuals from the scallops and from the shrimp, and that's going to be part of the sauce. Now, with a wooden spatula, I'm getting the fond off the bottom. Now, this is all going to blend together. The more I take off the bottom, the creamier this is going to get, and that is all going to break down into the sauce. I'm telling you what, most people take that pan and put it into the sink, wash it. That's all flavor. That's the flavor that you want. That makes for a great sauce. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add in a scoop of tomato sauce. Now, this was tomato sauce that I had from many weeks back up in the freezer. And what I did was just heat it up. It's plain sauce made with garlic, basil, oregano. Now I'm going to add it to that fish stock right there. And that's it, right? That's going to be our sauce for the day. Okay, it's getting close to dinner time because you know what? I'm going to put the mussels in. Now these are pre-cooked and frozen. Nothing wrong with them. Matter of fact, I like them a lot better than the other ones. The last time I bought fresh mussels out here in the desert, probably half the bag was no good. So I'm going to use these. Okay, add the shrimp in with the mussels. It's steaming up nice. Going to finish it off the inside. Also, the scallops are done. Now I'll put these into the sauce just before we get ready to serve it. Now, sauce is right there. I'll add more into that with the mussels when we plate it. Now it's time to cook the pasta. Now, this fresh pasta cooks up much faster than conventional pasta. So that's boiling salted water. Never put oil into your water. A lot of people do that. You don't have to do that. Just salted water, and it cooks up really good. Save your pasta water. Don't strain it into the sink. Keep it for something. And you want to thicken up the sauce. There you go. So now this is all the pasta that we have made. Now I'm saying maybe 3 to 4 minutes. Once it floats to the top, it is done. We're going to get ready to plate this. Now into another pan, I added the pasta and also a scoop of some tomato sauce in there. Now I'm going to start plating this. Now I'm going to make this a little, speed it up a little bit, just to get the mussels on the plate and put this all together, but then I'm going to make it nice and uniform. So that's how I roll. Okay, we're going to finish this up, put the final touches to it. I'm going to add a little basil, and voila, there we are. Listen, I want to thank everybody. This has been fun for me, making some of my old recipes. I really enjoy doing it. Great Sunday dinner. If for any reason that you don't like seafood, well, make sausage and meatballs, but make your own pasta. Try it. The whole idea is to have fun with it, and for me, it's a stress reliever. Anyway, with that said, I want to thank all the new subscribers. I really do appreciate you very much. This channel is really doing well. I'm happy, but don't forget, hit that like and subscribe button. Tell a friend, share it out. Really do appreciate it. Thanks, everybody. I'm Tom, the Sunday Dinner Chef. See you next week, and stay safe. Thank you.